I wanted to show you something. That right?
No! That's not right! Shane McMahon! Not applauding. You might be right. Oh, look at that! Out at the same time.
What's up, beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Welcome to the Friday Show. If you're new to this show, this is where I reply to some of your comments from this week's videos. I answer some of your Snapchat questions, and then I open the mail you guys sent me. That said, let's jump into it. Monday video. Dylan Severin writing, talking about YouTube drama isn't adding to YouTube drama. It's trying to deal with it. So there's been a lot of talk about YouTube drama this week, and I think people need to split it up into two camps. There's the infighting, the TMZ-esque, and the actual news. While YouTubers being petty to each other is whatever, when you have some of the biggest YouTubers in the world commenting on, agreeing, disagreeing about the quality of their community, YouTube, an entertainment platform that has been so disruptive to the status quo that everyone else, even still, it's like 10 years, old school media with varied success has been trying to keep up, and that's news. And personally on my show, it's not completely YouTube related, so I get to cherry pick the topics here. But people need to understand that if there is a show out there that covers YouTube gossip, YouTube drama, is it news that streamer Ken Z posted a bikini picture and she got slut shamed? Actually, yeah. It's a news story about being a woman on the internet, a woman in the limelight on the internet. Who's calling her a slut? Is it mainly men? Is it mainly women? It's a news topic. Also on that note, no, Kenzie, you're not a slut. You do you. Most people who call other people sluts on the internet are usually not the most top quality of person. So that's an example of someone with a following that's on the receiving end. Of course, if the other person's at fault, that's a story as well. I also think there's a certain way to do things, but that's my opinion. These stories are a tricky little beast. Next up, we have Tuesday. It's a crazy HD, how to fix cyberbullying, turn off Wi-Fi, block everyone, and move on. Isn't that very short-sighted of you? It's 2016. The internet isn't a different place anymore. It's connected to the real world. If your name's Sasha Banana Waffle Fontaine and people online start making these blog posts and videos where Sasha Banana Waffle Fontaine kills kittens, stabs babies, oh look, here's a screenshot of her being naked for half of a second during a live stream where something accidentally fell down and she exposed her breast. That stuff now lives forever when she's applying for a school, for a job, when she meets a new guy or girl. No judgment, you do what you want, Banana Waffle Fontaine. It's just not as simple as turning off your internet. The internet these days is a utility much like water. I can't just tell someone, hey, you know that thing that's vital to most people, just don't utilize that thing. There needs to be a middle ground where we're not coddling people who just don't like when people offer up different ideas, but also where we're not giving assholes free reign to just be the worst, horrible people without any repercussions. You feel me? That said though, the comments to this video were the most interesting of the week for me. This is one of those topics where you have black and white cases of bullying, but then there's also a big gray area, especially when it has relation to satire. Also, the debate on is the YouTuber or influencer at fault if their audience does something is really interesting. And then let's do Wednesday. Tim Sapayrak writing, saying 9/11 instead of 7/11. I see you, Phil. It was amazing how many people thought that that was like an actual accident that I didn't know about. That said, it was a legitimate mess up, but I decided to keep it in because I found it kind of funny. The whole story is something that I've said is ridiculous the whole time. Of course, it can easily be a slip of the tongue. So let's joke about it, but it's not actually a big issue. The fact that someone could go, oh, Trump doesn't care about 9/11 because he messed it up is idiotic. But it's also idiotic when you have supporters just convincing themselves that he actually didn't mess up, even though his official national spokesperson said he did. Just another example of extreme blind support on both sides of the aisle being ridiculous. And then the Thursday show. Evan Nakagawa saying, no idea what that streamer guy is, but he's a total twat. What makes the situation even more fucked up is that he said this to someone who tipped him. Unreal. Alfonso Brito asking, you seem like a man of great kindness, Phil. People forget empathy and sympathy way too often in society. And here's the thing I want people to understand about this story. I think that he has a point. I do believe that suicide can be selfish. But we need to have sympathy for people. Just because maybe we've gone through something ourselves and we were able to get past it, or we personally lost someone, doesn't mean that we understand someone else's struggle. I even said I think it would have been possible for the 20-year-old version of myself to lose it like this. Also, I think the person that might commit suicide isn't viewing it as something selfish, especially when the people they go to for help or they thank for being a positive thing or opening a door for them in their life just shit on them for unburdening their problems onto them. Some people will find the act of killing themselves selfless because it'll mean that people around them won't be dragged down. Like, that's where some of these people's minds are. And honestly, I feel like I've grown to be a more sympathetic human being thanks to the interaction that I've had with you guys over the past decade. And I think more people need to realize there is a middle ground between coddling people and being an asshole to people. And in the comments, it seemed like a lot of people think that I'm like this bright light. Deep Howard Smith writing that suicidal guy needs some fill in his life. I think all people have said things that they feel wrong on, and I think the big part that I want to point point out is I said, fuck this version of this guy. It's not like I want to throw him off of a bridge. I hope that he sees what he has done, and he grows up and he learns from it. That's what we have to try and do in this life. And so I don't wish ill on Brandon Nancy. I hope that from this experience he learns that even if you have a point or you have an opinion, there's a way not to be a huge cunt about it. We all make mistakes. It's just up to you if you're going to grow from it or not. Christensen said, to be honest, I don't see a big problem with the streamer said. I'm so nervous I just said something horrible in a different language. Yeah, it was kind of douchey and a bit over the top, but if that's his honest opinion, then that's that. Nobody forced that donator to put their story out there. And Jay, you weren't alone in that opinion. People were split. It was kind of like 70-30. And while I respect your opinion, I just personally disagree. When someone tells me in the past that they've self-harmed and my video has helped them, I don't know what to say. I've never personally reached that level of depression, and so I say, oh, well, I'm glad that I'm a positive thing in your life. That's it. And then I say actually what Nance said near the end of his rant after he realized he had said these horrible things. It's not really me stopping you from committing suicide. I get to be this positive thing for you, and then you on your own have that power in yourself to deal with that struggle. Everyone's got a different story and thing that keeps them a little more gelled together. I saw a comment from Delta J Ford. I struggle with depression and suicide because of PTSD after I lost my fucking leg in Afghanistan. I watch YouTube and Twitch because I like seeing the people in front of the camera. The entertainment has helped me deal with my life-changing injury. One, thank you. I legitimately mean that, even though I know that that might sound annoying to you at this point of people saying that emptily with hollow words. You get what I'm saying. And two, everyone moves forward in a different way. Everyone uses something different as a temporary crutch or as something to keep them gelled together. And thank you to everyone that leaves comments on the videos. I find your input very interesting most of the time. To the people that post stuff like, keep the number of likes on this comment even, I kind of want you to get punched in the face, but I don't wish it. It's more of just I might be okay with it or indifferent. That said, it's time for the Snapchat questions you guys sent me. Here we go.
Are you gonna go to TwitchCon?
Nope, and it's nothing against TwitchCon. I just don't do Twitch really anymore. Every now and then I'll go live. I just not part of my day-to-day anymore, which is actually kind of disappointing because I was up to like 250,000 or so followers on Twitch. Whatever. I love the site, but my schedule just doesn't permit it.
In your opinion, do you think that I am the definition of fashion?
Oh my god, it just kept going. Yes, I do. Then again, the only time I actually look good or get compliments on how I look is when my wife has dressed me.
If Trey, when he gets older, wanted to start making YouTube videos, would you let him?
This is a rough one. Part of my home life is shared on the internet, whether it be my Instagram or the family channel, youtube.com/TheDeFranco Fam. Go subscribe. My wife runs that channel, but it's fun because forever I'll have those videos or until the internet goes out because of the vampires. And everybody knows vampires hate the internet, just the way it is. But for him to have a direct connect, to see the comments, stuff like that, I mean, that's gonna be something I'm going to have to figure out. Thanks to my, as of today, 2-year-old son grabbing my iPad and flipping through stuff, I found it's like a 4 or a 5-year-old or something like that reviews toys on the internet. And while the parents are obviously the ones doing the work, I'm like, wow, that is a 4 or 5-year-old child with their own YouTube channel. And honestly, I don't know. I think it's one of those things I'm gonna need to get more input on. Like, I feel like Shay Carl has done a very good job of how his kids have been showcased on his videos. But it always seems like a cool and positive thing that doesn't mess with them or make life weird. So I'm figuring it out. The internet can be a great place, it can also be a terrifying place. I like looking at attractive Asian women who sing, but I don't actively seek it out. Also, yes, I'm aware that's very superficial.
So I was just wondering, what do you do on the weekends?
I almost completely disconnect from the internet. You'll notice like on Twitter and all the other places I post, it's usually like a lot, and then the weekend, a little bit. I really just try and spend the most time possible with my family, especially with my little man. I mean, just looking at him from like pictures a year ago, so much changes so fast, and I just want to be there as much as possible. And during the week, especially through a time where we're testing out new content on the weekends, we're testing out stuff for new channels, we're changing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. There's a lot of meetings. I end up working these extremely full days, and I only get to see him a little in the afternoon. So I'm still in this balancing act. And the way I end up feeling okay about it is I go heavy on family time on the weekends.
How do you deal with not going completely insane?
It's hard. It's hard. This is gonna sound oversimplified, but find an outlet. Like, people can decompress when they're watching YouTube, they're watching shows, that's good, but you need to get something out. For me, I created YouTube videos, which was a creative thing, but also a very therapeutic thing, because if you look at some of like the early stuff, and I'm not talking about like the cringy videos that are up now, like the stuff that I privated and deleted a long time ago, I was a very angry person. So for me, that was something. For other people, they'll lift free weights, and other people, they'll run, and other people will do sprints. And I know that might sound weird, that to deal with just doing too much, I'm saying do a little more, but it honestly does help. At least for me, everyone's different, but if you are anything like me whatsoever, that's my advice to me. Next up, we have mail time. If you want to send some stuff to me in the mail, and maybe I'll open it, or maybe I'll just read it just for me. It can be a secret. Or for everyone, you can send stuff to this address right here. But here we go. This one is from John Himes and Anna Ross. I'm going through some of the thinner mail since you guys were like, That's how some of you sound sometimes when you get angry. These beautiful people just invited me to be an honorary guest at their wedding. Also, thank you for the kind words. I am going to have to politely decline, but thank you for the invite. I'm just nervous. I show up, it turns out, oh no, I'm wearing the same dress as you. You're walking down the aisle, you see my dress, we connect eyes, you just cry, anger consumes you, we get into a fist fight, I win because obviously I'm good at karate, and I have to eat your now never to be husband's soul. It's a whole thing, but I appreciate the invite. Airmail, who's so fancy? From Poppy Hoyland, England. That's the wrong voice, what I just did. What the heck is this? House DeFranco, Sup Nation. This is like becoming a thing. So cool though. In the middle of reading, they apologize for their handwriting. Mine is just as bad. Mine looks like an angry child trying to write something. He advised I go here. Also, he wrote that I'm his favorite thing to watch in the morning, which you know what? Not something I ever really think about, but I guess my show is kind of a morning show in the UK. Nope, turns out that's completely wrong. I post around 10 p.m. your time, so I'm like the late show, but then you wake up and you DVR'd me, technically. Also, that reference probably doesn't make any sense to you. I'm such a great communicator. Then this one's from Pennsylvania. It just says a P.O. box, no name, but it says do not bend. I'm a huge fan. This letter isn't really about me, it's about my dad. He recently wrote a children's book and I thought you might have some interest in seeing it. While I know you aren't religious, this book does have a Christian theme. It's about my dad trying to think of ways to teach my autistic sister. This is the book, if that sounds interesting to you. And actually, that's a note. That's a note I want to hit on. I appreciate your concern of it being religious, me not being religious, but I'm 100% open to it. Whether it be for my son growing up, whether it be for anyone. I think people should be open to anything. As long as it's not hurting someone or exclusionary, I am open to a different story and I'm open to a different point of view. I feel like ultimately that's not the case for a lot of people. The cynic in me knows that it's kind of a losing battle. And that's personally how I view the world and things that are different. I haven't always been like this. I've been closed off to other ideas in the past. The cynic in me believes that's always going to be the majority, but that doesn't have to affect how I live my life and how I raise my kid. And even if I don't believe in the same stuff that you or your father believe in with this book, I love you and thank you for considering and keeping your mind open to someone that is different than you. We need more of that in this world, so thank you. I love you, face. Also, thanks again to everyone that sent stuff in. If you want to just send me stuff from me, or if you want to see it in the video, you can send stuff here in the future. But with that, we come to the close of another Friday show. Thank you, Nation, for being a part of my family. Also, this is going to be a fun weekend if you like my channel. There's going to be a new video Saturday and a new video Sunday. Remember to come back. Also, I post a little earlier on the weekends. But with that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.